But this does lend to the question. I mean, we're talking about telling OCs that, hey, this is going to be our guy. Sam Howell's going to be our guy. And after that performance, all right, let's be honest. We know as Washington fans, it takes one game for us to really kind of jump on these guys like, oh, here we go. And even when we fight it, we still buy jerseys of these guys. Okay? So, Will, you know how excited I am, so I'm going to let you go first on this one because I am excited, but I'm trying to taper it down to be realistic. So what are your thoughts since 1 week removed from the Cowboys game? As we've seen, the Cowboys can play. They were obviously playing possum with us. What do you think, 1 week later, now that some of the rumors have come out and everything like that?
Yeah. Well, we talked last week about, some of the basically retread, quarterbacks that are out there. But then the playoffs happened. And Lamar Jackson didn't show up for his game. And Tom Brady showed up, but he didn't show up on the field.
Right.
There's two guys that we could bring to DC. Let's go.
Right.
Yeah, man. I'm all in. Sam Howell can ride the pine. We're going to go get somebody ahead of him. We're going to go get Tom Brady.
Oh, my goodness.
He doesn't like expense. He doesn't need expensive contracts. He's a team player to know that we can build the offensive line with him. He's looking for a team that has a solid defense. We're almost there. That's championship ready. I think we're ready. I think this is going to be the Peyton Manning 2.0 signing when he went to Denver to ride out the end of his career. And I'm completely kidding about all this.
I was about to say,
that make me crazy.
I was be like, man, what are you on, man? Hold up. You hang out with Jack before the show? What's
there
up?
Is no way Tom Brady is considering DC. And
like, what?
Wow, Lamar Jackson, it's so funny that PFT commenter has been the one that started all this Photoshop season and all these, and he puts out a new picture of Lamar in a Commander's jersey going, is this real? And he would cost so much money or draft assets. And so, or just assets. And so I'm at the point where, we talked last week about who could be available. I mentioned, like, are you looking at, the Jimmy G's, the Jacoby Brissett's, the Sam Darnold's, the Baker Mayfield's. And I'm at the point where I don't want to spend the assets on that type of quarterback. That if we can get by and win 7 games with the Taylor Heineke type, then let's build elsewhere, and let's build the team up and go with it. So I'm at the point now where I'd rather be people wearing the jersey that you have on and seeing what do we have. I'm still a little bit leery, wondering, again, this is Ron, what could be his last season. This is his put up or shut up year, potentially new owner, year 4 of the coach. So it's like, is he really going to rock with Sam Howell? But I just think we're at the point now where you got to do the patient approach and say, what do you have in house and what can you do to make him successful?
Oh yeah. And I'm gonna harp on my guy. I'm gonna say go Sam Howell. And it's not because of North Carolina, it's because of, like I mentioned before, we need to come into an off season with faith in somebody. You know what I mean? Like, even when we got Carson, it was still all the off season was, do we really believe in him? Can he do it? And then OTAs came and he was struggling. Fitzmagic, we never, even through the preseason, we're just like, he'll turn it on during the regular season, right? And he didn't even last in the regular season. It didn't last a game. So I like that we're in this direction saying this is who we're going to go with. Let's go. Now, as far as that being said, once Carson goes out, that $28 million, once some other moves start being made, we know that Deron Payne wants to get paid. And, that's obviously a conversation we'll have, but if we were to put some money into that, then you start talking about some pieces, some foundational pieces that are being built around. Like you talked about, we can win 7 games. Over the last 3 years, we have won 7. We could have easily dipped and been a 4 or 5 win team some of those years. If you look at some of the years we started where, 1-6 in 2020 and last year, 2-6 at one point?
Yeah.
And then this year, 1-4. You know what I mean? So it could have very easily gotten to the point where we're down to 1-8, 1-9, and completely out of the season. But we've still been able to keep in there. Yes, that's coaching, but that's also the players that we have buying into the system. Coming towards the end of the year, the guys are buying in. So I just feel like let's build on that. You know what I mean? We have a guy in here. We don't know what we're going to do with Taylor, but if we do keep Taylor, let's have a true competition at quarterback, see what happens there. But let's build an O-line. Let's build a D-line, or just solidify the D-line, get everybody healthy. Let's get some true linebackers in here to pair with some of the guys we have, and then let's just bolster that secondary, get everybody healthy. Let's build up. I know we're going to talk about this.
So don't share too much.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, but I'm just saying with the premise, I just say we stick with the guy we have because we got to look. We can't keep beating our head against the wall, spending money on these quarterbacks that aren't going to shape up and get it done. And that's what we have done over the last several years, not just the last 2 years. We look at 2020, like you mentioned earlier, we got Alex Smith. You know, how much money did we pay into that? And then unfortunately, everything happened the way it did. And thankfully, he was able to come back, but as a shell of himself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, but even when you look at that Steelers game that we won, it was because that defense was so dominant. You know, held them 6 straight plays at the goal line in that game. And, you know, they gave our offense the opportunity. So let's build that up. We know what we have. Let's build that up and start Sam Howell.
Well, if you think about it, it's like you said it a couple weeks ago on the shows, and you said it a couple times, like we've gone the free agency route. Right. It didn't work. I don't want to do it a third time. And I think the NFL got spoiled or / maybe fooled because you had Tom Brady leave and go to the Bucs and win the Super Bowl.
Yep.
Had Matt Stafford leave the Lions and go to the Rams and win a Super Bowl. And so all some people said, well, wait, we can take other people's quarterbacks and make it work.
Right.
Then you had 2022.
Mm-hmm.
Carson Wentz didn't work out, where Matt Ryan didn't work out, where free agent signing to Mitch Trubisky was a complete disaster in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
And they took a long time before they went to Kenny Pickett. You had Marcus Mariota in Atlanta, who was what he was in Tennessee. Not impressive. Mm-hmm. You know, so you had veterans change teams. Sam Darnold in Carolina, that Baker Mayfield in Carolina, you know,
so Carolina and then Adams.
Right. So it's like you've had now situations where guys weren't impressive changing teams. It's like, oh, wait a minute. Maybe we got to remember that another team's trash is not going to be our treasure when it comes to the quarterback. Why are they going to be getting rid of somebody in-house that can help them win? Which goes to that whole, do you go after Derek Carr type mentality? You know, and it's like, well, I know there's a relationship there with, you know, or there's some dysfunction there with Josh McDaniels. And there's this absolute, like, kind of rumor that Tom Brady would go to, you know, Las Vegas to re-up with McDaniels, and that could be happening. So there's obviously, you know, something happening in Vegas this year between the coach and quarterback. But if that coach, who has already failed once as a head coach, is willing to trade his starting quarterback, then there's got to be, you know, it's like, is the juice going to be worth the squeeze of what you're paying to get a Derek Carr? To where I think we've done it, and we keep talking. It's all about assets at this point. And if we go out and try and get someone, either spend the money or trade, it's going to take away from our ability to improve the rest of the team to make us better. So it's kind of that we've done it. Now we need to go that patient approach and say, what do we have in house? What can we do? Can we make this work? Like I said earlier, like what Philly did, where they went after a guy and said, let's build some other pieces and help this guy out.
Right. Right. And honestly, I mean, like that is where I feel like we should mimic Philly, not in their play calling going into that day on Giants game. I think we should mimic them in this way. We're kind of seeing how they built it and do it that way. And then also Dallas, man, like I don't like we're not going to do it today, but I was talking to you about your mock draft and everything. We do need to pick up multiple linemen. We're going to talk about that in a second, but we need to get offensive depth so that we're our O-line depth so that we can protect our quarterback and not sit here and play musical chairs and figure out who's going where.
Thanks for watching. If you like that clip, be sure to check out the other great content from the Let's Talk Football community. And as always, please like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you'll be notified when more great content like this becomes available.